I feel like I just watched the first two episodes of a new season of Jerry Springer, but it's Isekai. This one has a really weird release schedule. We got the first two episodes today. Episode 3 comes out Saturday, and then we have to wait a month for episode 4, because it's a Saturday show. But hey, you know what? Anime be anime. I wasn't really going to watch this one because I didn't think it looked that interesting, but I had enough beg me to check it out. And I'll be honest, it was entertaining. It might be isekai trash, but it might be enjoyable isekai trash. So, essentially the premise is, we have a dude who got cheated on and crashed out so hard he wanted to destroy the universe, but in another world. So basically, what appears to be a loving family dynamic, even if his job sucks, turns out, wife cheated on him. Turns out, wife cheated on him with his boss, so his kid's not even his kid. And it's the fact that the kid was in on the whole, this is my other daddy, and just the fact that his life gets progressively worse to the point that a demon's like, hey bro, take your pick of worlds, go have fun. Demon wants him to go into a world and, suffer, but for some reason, little nice fox spirit, I guess, made it so he'd be okay. So essentially, his OG family gets screwed, and he's now out here playing harem maker. I shit you not, in the second episode, his biological mother in this new world says, design the nipples on your new robot. And that's not even the wildest thing that happened in these two episodes. His new family signs over the lordship of this domain, and they're so screwed for money and everything that essentially it should be handing him a shit steak on a silver platter. But because, whatever nice spirit thing's going on here, essentially he's going to be out here reconquering. His kingdom's probably going to be okay, but he's going to destroy anyone in the making. I love how deeply unserious these first two episodes was. For him it was serious, but I ain't gonna lie, I literally busted out laughing when I realized that this woman cheated on him, and the girl was like, I like other daddy better. This shit was wild, man. I don't know. I went in with literally zero expectations, and I came out with Jerry Springer of Isekai. I'm ready for episode 3. You want to see my full thoughts, though, on these episodes? We got the Patreon, where we got the full uncut live reactions over there exclusively. I don't know, here's the thing. I'm sure some people are going to take these first two episodes more serious than I am, but I thought it was hilarious. I knew there was going to be something. To be honest, for a brief moment, I thought he was going to drive Truck-kun into his family. That was going to be his crash out. But the whole idea that it's the show's I'm the lord of an evil intergalactic empire, they're living up to the name, right? The first episode, it's interesting because the first couple of minutes is him in the futuristic setting. I'm okay, it's just gonna be a dude who's gonna have a harem and he's gonna be like, haha, I'm so evil. And to be honest, that didn't really seem that interesting. Visually, it was surprisingly well produced. It's not gonna look as good as something like the new Gundam that's coming out for sure. But you can't deny it's a pretty well-produced show when it comes to the intergalactic style battles. And then we get, most of episode 1, which is focused on his original life. And to be honest, I was like, okay, yeah, he's trying hard. But of course, if you're never home, of course, the marriages aren't gonna last. It's a fact, right? Especially if, you're not trying. But it takes two to tango, right? You can't just... The dude's working real hard. Are you doing anything? Turns out they went the extreme. They said, no, this has been going on from the beginning. She's been the ultimate scam artist, that she's been banging his boss, had his baby, and then made this other man raise it for this whole big elaborate plan that they would then fire his ass because he embezzled 50 million yen. Wild shit. I swear to God, you could literally redirect a couple of these points and put it as an episode of Jerry Springer. I'm not even joking. It's funny though, because the demon who offered him a helping hand, I thought to myself, hey, we're getting pretty good with this year, with these kind of isekai fantasy shows of the goddesses or the dark gods, whatever it is, actually hooking us up rather well. We learned that he actually wanted to screw us over, but I think it's because of that little fox spirit that went through the door with him that allowed him not to be completely screwed. But either way, I like how not only was he trying to screw this man, so he tries to find those that are vulnerable, offer them hope, and then throw them in a shitty land so then they're full of despair. on top of whatever screwed them over in their own world that made everything work, you know, in this horrible way for them, also get screwed, as seen by the cops busting down the boss, and she's like, "Where am I supposed to go? I have no money without you." You had 2 men and you fumbled, girl. That's all I can say. But then when you see episode 2, and just how deeply unserious it is again, like, at first I was like, oh, they're just going the fantasy route of, we're just gonna hand a kid unlimited power. What can go wrong? Turns out the family actually only had this kid so that they could pass all of their debt and bullshit to him and they could go start anew somewhere. Hey, sign this contract, 5-year-old son, and everything's yours, debt included. Normally would be a horrible thing. Turns out we actually got a pretty good situation on our hands. So after some robot fondling, keep in mind the kid's 5 years old in this body. Apparently they live to like 500 in this world, so even his 35-year-old mind is considered an infant or something. I don't know. But either way, after Playroom, which I don't even think his body can work in that way yet, but you know what? That doesn't stop a horn dog. The maid's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna rule the world for like 6 months. You're gonna go into a capsule. We're gonna give you every bit of knowledge you need to run a kingdom, and then when you come out, you'll be set. It's actually a pretty cool idea. They've already established that this world has already been overrun by AI before, so AI isn't trusted. We were going to do the 3 laws of Robotniks at first, and then he's like, screw that shit. You work for me, you don't hurt me, you do what I say, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yes, master. At the end of the day, people who don't like Isekai or these like over-the-top power fantasies are not going to like this show in my mind. But those who have an interest in comedy and misdirection probably will. The show was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, and I think when I was finding it funny in the first episode, I probably wasn't supposed to, but it made me have fun, so I'm okay with it. But I will admit, this is probably one of the most reasonable crash outs I've seen in some time. I thought this show was just going to be dude wanted to be evil and he has a harem. At least he has like a justifiable, like, shit, my life literally went to hell, and I did nothing wrong, other than maybe not be as talkative as I should have been. This is a weird double episode, I'll say that. Honestly, I thought walking out of the first episode, there's no way they could keep my interest the same way the first episode did when I was entering the second, because it was just such a whiplash of bullshittery. But surprisingly, episode 2 kept my interest in a different way. So I'll check out episode 3, and if that one's good, we'll check out episode 4 a month from now, because production committees and early streaming loves to mess with it. I think the last time I can remember something quite being this weird is the first season of Vinland Saga, when they aired the first 3 episodes and then we had to wait a month. This one's just even more weird because it's 2 episodes now, 3rd episode Saturday, and then it starts up like April 27th or something. It's interesting. But you know what? The Jerry Springer of Isekai? I want more. You let me know what you thought. Whether you're like me, weren't even going to check this one out, or if you've been excited for it, what did you think? Let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Vi, Anthony Silva, Navenga Games, Macvelli, Christopher Stevenson, Shadow Clone Rex, Zane Zardonks, Still Zero, Natasha and Henry, and we also have Agus TR, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.